just over 10 years ago, Northcliffe and this whole southern forest region, actually the state of WA, was embroiled in a conservation debate about logging in old growth forest. There was a camp that thought it was a good idea to log, and there was the camp that thought it wasn't a good idea to log. And if you lived in a town where logging occurred, like Northcliffe, you were caught all the time in this battle zone. It was really rife with tension. I was very much in the conservationist camp, and as an artist I'd been invited to a number of logging coops that were going to be logged and asked to create some ephemeral artwork and see if that encouraged people to come and spend some time in the forest. It worked magically. We thought, wouldn't it be amazing if we could have something all the time instead of just once a week? That's really where this started.
It's a real grassroots community initiative, Understory. It was a concept developed by the local community. It's been driven by the local community and it's been built up by the local community. A lot of volunteer hours put into it. We're getting more and more visitors each year. The artworks are designed to be ephemeral and break down over time, so as they start to deteriorate, annually new artworks are added in there and it just keeps people coming back to see what's new out here. It's beautiful.
A small community like ours, they only survive because of collaboration. So we're too small to do anything on our own, but together we can be mighty. And so the Visitor Centre provides all our customer service and then we give them funds back from that. So it's very much mutually beneficial.
We get 43,000 visitors a year through the door at the Visitors Centre here, but if people don't happen to reach us first, they all get told to come here to Understory. Everybody in town is really supportive and recognises that this is a really significant attraction for the town and the region. It's basically turned us into a town that's now known as more of a culturally dynamic town. It's really turned the community around.
It's turned out to be something much larger than I originally thought. I thought that it would just be about sculptures in the forest, but actually when we started speaking to the community, for example, our local music teacher said, well, why aren't you putting music in there? And then I was talking to some writing friends and they said, well, there's a great opportunity to commission some stories and some poetry here. That original visual component actually became something much more holistic, which is very much about how our human imagination can perceive one place but in infinite different ways. Understory is very much about the spirit of place, so it's about this particular one place, this tiny little place in this massive big world. There's nothing else like it. So we wanted to invite different kinds of artists working in different art forms to come to this one little place and then to see what they would create out of that. Everyone brings their own perspective. They see the forest through their own lens and they give us a different way of seeing the forest. We say to our artists, surprise us, challenge us, give us something that's going to make us go, wow, okay, I'm not really sure how we'd do that, but we're going to give that a try. One of the things that we really wanted to do is to make people feel welcome with art. A lot of people find galleries really confronting. It's a white box, they're not sure what to think, they don't know how to act, they don't feel comfortable. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to give people who are relaxed in nature, going for a walk, and then they come across contemporary art. And so they're already open. It's a bonus. It allows people to see nature in a different way and it allows them to see contemporary art in a different way. We ask people to be really present in the moment. And there's archways at the start of the trail, so when you walk through the archway, it's a little bit like walking into a Japanese temple. You cross over the threshold of how you normally experience your life, and then we like to ask people to think about experiencing it with their imagination and their heart more than their head. And we have some little prayer wheels at the start of the trail and we ask people to spin those and make a wish. So it's very much about nature as your spiritual temple.
The trail to me is a bit of a journey, and you start from the visitor centre and the geography lets you descend. We relax more, all of that noise that's going on in our head just sort of gets turned off. As we walk further into the trail, down the hill, you can see people slow down, they start looking at the artworks, but then they also start taking more notice of the local environment.
There's no signage out here that tells you this is a jarrah tree or this is a karri tree. What we have is artworks that might signify a story, an idea, an animal, who knows. We can inform the public about our environment with facts as much as we like, but it only ever stays here. If you really want people to have passion and to take action, to conserve and cherish something, then you have to connect with their heart. And I think the imagination, the arts, are the best way to connect people to their hearts. And if you have your heart engaged, you will take action with your hands and feet. In terms of life journeys and learning curves, we run a gallery out in nature. There's nothing quite like it. There's no constancy of light, there's no climate control. Part of my conservation strategy is burning bush.
The vegetation grows. Sculptures that you could once see perfectly are suddenly obscured.
We have trees just crushing sculptures in wind.
It makes things fun, more diverse, there's more to deal with.
It's a very dynamic place.
Understory is probably the main economic driver for the town at present. It's basically one of the top 10 trails in WA. So it attracts a lot of people to come into the town itself. It's such a beautiful walk, people could just come back and they go, oh wow, that was just amazing. Then they go and tell everybody else that they meet along their travels, and most people who come in here have actually heard about it from other people. Word of mouth advertising is just amazing.
It's a love letter from those of us who live here, who love this place, who are really passionate about the environment, and we're really passionate about the role of creativity to transform your life. And so it's a love letter from us to the visitors to say, come, see why we love this place. Hopefully you will learn to love this place too. And more than that you will go to your own homes and you go to other homes and then you start to see your places in that same way as well.